Welcome everyone to show number 3 of Gazette Sports Chat. We are grateful that you chose to take the time to give us a look. Gazette Sports Chat is a branch of the online magazine Linglestown Gazette and is brought to you in part by our friends just down the road at Ted's Bar and Grill, 7300 Allentown Boulevard. Ted's is a strong supporter of Central Dauphin Athletics and the #1 spot in the Lower Paxton, West Hanover area. I was at Ted's the other night, Friday night, for a nice-sized birthday party. There was 45 of us. They accommodated us in the back room, and I just want to let everybody know, if you're having a large party, 20 on up to, I think, 60 or 65, book the back room at Ted's Bar and Grill. They did a great job for us. Our goal here at Gazette Sports Chat is to introduce to our viewers athletes and others in our community connected with the sporting world who've made a difference on and off the field of play. We'll place a strong emphasis on profiling guests from in and around Central Dauphin School District, but there will also be times where we'll step a bit outside and bring in friends from neighboring communities. Where there's talent, Gazette Sports Chat will find it. We're going to switch gears a little bit tonight. The first 2 shows we brought in Central Dauphin athletes. We had Alexis Hartwick and Shane Griffiths, and part of our intro is that we do say that we're going to bring some athletes from outside of the Central Dauphin area in every now and then, and that's what we're going to do tonight. We're looking forward to bringing in some Steel High athletes over the next year, and we'll start tonight with Lloyd Bigcat Hill and Jeremiah Young. Thanks for being here, fellas.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And a lot of people know that even though I grew up in Lower Paxton Township, went to Central Dauphin, played Central Dauphin sports, I have an affinity for Steel High sports as well. I've been a fan for many years. It started with following Rodney Brookin back in the mid-'80s, and I've just been a big fan ever since. So I'm a little bit of a homer, so you'll see some Steel High athletes on the show from time to time. Lloyd and Jeremiah are my first guests that I really don't have a true relationship with. We just met recently, and so it'll be interesting. Some of the questions that I'll be asking them, I'm going to get real answers. I don't know some of this stuff like I did for the first couple guests. So we had dinner a couple weeks ago, and we sort of went over a few things, but it'll be interesting to sort of shoot from the hip here. I just want to say, first of all, to qualify these guys, between the 2 of them, they were involved in 6 state championships at Steel High in 2007 and 2008. 2 each in football, 1 each in basketball. So 3 and 3 equals 6, right? And that's a lot of hardware. It's rare air where an athlete or a sports school programs can get state championships in the same year in the 2 major sports, and they were involved in that. So there were Steel High, actually over the last 25 years, has had 9 state championships. Most in boys basketball, but 2 in football, 2 in girls basketball. And it really is a title town. I mean, in this whole area, I don't think anybody else has had quite that much success. So what was it like to grow up in Stilton? We'll start with you, Lloyd.
Well, originally my family's from Stilton, so blue collar town. Growing up with tight-knit community, I grew up with all my friends all the way from K-5 all the way through my senior year. So we have a tight relationship. We're more like brothers than friends. So it was a tight-knit community, and we always hung out. If you've seen one of us, you've seen all of us. So it was a good thing, and it showed out on the field and on the court because we had a tight-knit, and we were real close.
And just to add on to what Lloyd was saying, like he was saying, we were a family. The whole community was brothers, and then when it came to sports, we had the full support of the entire community, supporting us behind everything. Like even in the basketball, when we lost to Susquehanna in the district, they still supported us and had confidence in us, and I believed that we would bring home the state championship, and we did. So growing up in Stilton, it was amazing. It was awesome. We got to stay out all hours of the day, hanging out, playing in the streets. Playing football and basketball and tag, and just enjoying the neighborhood.
Right. 2 proud Stiltonians. Who were the athletes you guys looked up to? Let's go back to when you were maybe 5, 6, 8 years old. The Stilton athletes.
Oh, when I was when I was younger, there was actually there's the two football players I looked up to was my position. They were Darius Hodge, because he actually went to Still High before he started, transferring, and then we had Daville Crawford.
Right.
All right. The reason why I like D Hodge is because him and my brother, they were best friends or great friends since like they were 4 or 5 years old. And he's always been like the muscular, great football player. So I've always looked up to him, and even took some pointers from him back when I was a child. Just doing body weight stuff when we were kids. And then as for Daville, just being in the middle school, going up to the high school games and watching him perform, and he was so small, but he was just full of energy and strength and power, and it kind of like gave my self-confidence, because like when we were younger, I was kind of fitting in size-wise, but then as we started getting older, everybody started to surpass me. So he kind of gave me some confidence that even though I may be small, I can still dominate.
Right. How about you, Lloyd?
First one I want to say is Ryan Mon. Even though I played offensive line, but when he played with such passion, and he was a magician at quarterback.
Right.
And we were left-handed, both of us, and he was actually one of my gym mentors when he was in high school and we were in 7th grade. So he took care of us when we first stepped on the high school campus, and he was like a person that we looked up to, and he was a special ball player. He played all 3 sports,
right.
And that was something that I cherished. He played his heart out every time he stepped on the field, the court, whatever it was, and still to this day, he's one of my favorite rollers.
Mon died at a young age, and but he's a legend. I think he died at 17, maybe 16. Okay, 16 years old, and he's a legend nonetheless. In that short a time, he really built up a name for himself in the community. Thanks, guys. And at what age were you guys convinced that you wanted to be rollers?
Honestly, I don't remember what year it was, but I remember it was funny because growing up, I've never liked basketball. Like, I've always wanted to be play football. I like the violence and being able to like run away from people. But the thing that made me want to truly be a roller is I remember I was sitting at home watching the news, and we was watching the state championship. I don't know if it was 2000?
The basketball
one.
2000 probably,
and
yeah.
Tanel Woodward got a monstrous dunk, and like the stands went crazy. His teammates went crazy, and he was like showing rollers, like this is what it is.
Right.
And then ever since then, I was like, I'm gonna do that.
Good.
For me, well, my father was a roller. He played on the '78 state championship team, so soon I was born, that was instilled in me. All I wanted to do was be a roller.
Didn't have much of a choice, right?
Yep. All my uncles, they were rollers. They came up through the program, so that's all it was for me. That's all I knew was a roller. And me, I didn't get a chance to play midget football. I went to practice every single day from pee-wees to midgets, and my first time playing as a roller was in 7th grade as a freshman.
Because of weight, right? Weight restrictions. Yeah.
And that was the best feeling, to me, putting on that roller helmet, because I knew, my family, they did the same thing. They blood, sweat, tears on Cottage Hill.
Right.
So that really meant something to me. So
Right.
it's been instilled for me, since a young age, real young.
Right. Okay, let's talk about 07, the first football title. Now, Steel High actually had 2 mythical state championships in 78 and 82, I believe.
Yep.
Mythical means that they didn't play it out in the field. It was voted by sports writers. I think they had the 78 on their own, and they shared the 82 with Cumberland Valley and Ford Chapman at quarterback and another school from out west. But what was the feeling? I mean, after all those years, and for the first time it was ever played out in the field, how did it feel after you had that one in the books?
Honestly, it was words couldn't really explain it. And the reason why it felt that way I don't know if I was speaking for all of us, I like to think I am, is that when we were in junior high and middle school, we were telling, you know, everybody, ourselves, we are going to be future state champions. We even made shirts, posters,
Oh, boy.
everything. So like we bought in early
Right.
that we were going to make the state championship.
Yeah.
So when everything finally, you know, played out and we actually won, at first I was in disbelief.
It's almost a relief, I guess. If you set,
mean, yeah,
if you
we
set
put
your
that-
sights that high, you better do it, right?
Right. So once we finally accomplished the ultimate goal, honestly, for me, I think it was kind of short-lived because we were juniors, and I knew that since we got the one, we had to get the next one. So I say probably a week after we started
Right.
focusing on the next one.
You can't be satisfied. As a winning athlete,
Yeah.
you party a little bit, and then you get back to work, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about Coach Rob Dibler? I'm going to take a couple minutes to talk about him and what he meant to the football team and the community. He was a Steeltonian to the bone, through and through. Coach Dibler just passed away very recently, I think 6 weeks ago or so, and I know you guys have some fond memories. Lloyd?
Yeah, so, you know, first off, Coach was a great coach, but even better guy. You know, he brought us in under his wing and, you know, showed us the way. And I have the utmost respect for Coach. And, you know, me just playing for him for 4 years and letting us loose as, you know, 14-year-old freshmen out there playing, it just showed the confidence he had in us. And he stuck by our side all the way till I walked across the stage at St. Francis. So that's what type of
Wow.
relationship. It's not I know I can speak for me, Jeremiah, my group of friends. He was our coach, but you know he stuck with us, you know, through it all. You know, when he got hurt or you know when things weren't going right, we could always text him and he would get right back to
Right.
us. And that just showed what type of relationship we had. It wasn't coach player, but it was something more than that.
Right.
And still, you know, that's what it was with us and Coach.
Right.
Yeah, rest in peace, Coach Dibler. But yeah, like more what Lloyd was saying, Coach Dibler, he was a great man, a great person, and figure-wise for us, I feel like he was like a mentor and like
Right.
a father. Like Lloyd said, anytime you called him, he's there for you. Honestly, I don't even know if he, you know, had it all the time, but he did
Right.
whatever he could to make sure, you know, you got what you needed. And he always, you know, he always, you know, spoke highly of us, which instilled confidence in us all,
Right.
which I still keep to this day. You know, the confidence, some people may call it, you know, arrogance, but, you know, so be it.
No. I think all great athletes have a little bit of that. You got to
Yeah,
know
I mean, you
that
have
you're
to.
better than everybody else,
Or
right?
at least think
Whether you
that.
are or you're not, if you feel that
You
way.
gotta have that tenaciousness
Yep.
He was that type of guy as a coach.
to bring everything out of you, the best out of everybody.
Right.
We'll run through a wall for him.
And I should add that Coach Dibler was the quarterback in the 1982 state championship team for Steel High as well. So that's rare air when you're a player and a coach that can get state championships at doing both. Then 2008 was as magical as it gets, right? You put another state championship, football state championship in the books, brushed yourself off a little bit and went out in the basketball court and did the same all over again, right?
Yeah, that was a special time for us. You know, like Jeremiah was saying, we said that when we were young. You know, when we were in fifth grade, that we were going to win titles, and you know, we put the work in. You know, we traveled all over the country and played, and you know, we were always together. And I think that was the unique part about our team. You know, we would go from football practice straight to summer league games and back to football, and that we never had, you know, time apart. We were always together, and that always showed on the field or on the court. And I remember, you know, quite vividly, you know, our junior year we lost 3 in a row. Not too many people.
I knew that. I
Yeah,
remember
we,
that.
We lost 3 in a row, and
Yeah.
you know, Coach Dye wasn't a real yeller, but you know, he said in his quiet tone, you know, guys, you know, we were 4-3 or something like that, and he was like, you know, I still think we got a shot at the district championship. You know, we had already won 2 districts already as freshmen and sophomore, and we were like, you know, we thought we had a shot, and I remember that day, I'll never forget, we ran so much, and you know, from there on, from our junior year that week, all the way until our last football game, we did not lose.
Everything changed probably from that point on. You know, we had enough of this, and let's move forward and not lose. You know, basically, yeah. So move on to basketball. I want to say first, I watched a lot of your basketball games, right? And the first time that I saw Lloyd step on the court, okay, probably not unlike most fans. I mean, like, I know the opposing fans because I could hear them talk about it. I thought this guy must come in just to beat a couple people up, absorb some fouls, you know, give the starters a rest. Now, you were like the 6th or the 7th guy, so you were an integral part of the team, and was I wrong? I mean, you can play basketball, man, and I mean, I saw within 30 seconds that you could play. I mean, your hands are soft, your feet are soft, you could shoot, you could play defense, and what'd you think of playing basketball? Did you like that as much as football, or?
To be honest, not too many people know this, but that's my first love.
Is it really?
Yeah, you know, my body structure just sent me to play college football, but if I could, I would be on the hardwood.
Your body didn't get in the way of you playing basketball. I'm going to tell you that right now, you know? And I don't even think it was so much your weight or how heavy you were. You just looked like a football player out there who was, you know, get out there and take up some space for a while, maybe give a few elbows, and it wasn't like that at all. You were playing basketball, and you know, I was just watching some of the old footage from the Mid-Penn championships and the state championships, and you were out in the court doing your thing quite a bit, and Jeremiah was a member of that team too. That's why I said between the two of them, they have 6 state championships, and 4 came in one school year. So just incredible. And you lost to Susquehanna Township in the Mid-Penn championship and in '08 and in basketball here. And I remember leaving the Giant Center like a kick in the gut. How did that happen? And then weeks later, you played them again, and it doesn't happen that often that 2 teams from within 5 to 7 miles of one another play in a state championship. And I guess you had an axe to grind after losing that Mid-Penn game, right?
Yeah, and that was actually we played them a couple weeks before in the championship of the conference championship, and we beat them up pretty bad, and then we played them again down at the Giant Center, and we lost. And buzzer beater by Ben Dupree, who's a good friend of ours.
Great play by Dupree, great shot. We were just talking about it a couple weeks ago.
Shout out to Ben. You know, he's a tough kid. He made a great shot, and we were just like, oh man, we couldn't believe it. You know, we thought we were supposed to win the district and, you know, go on the states. But, you know, I'll never forget, you know, we're on the bus and we played a bad game. Credit goes out to Susquehanna that night, but I remember, you know, us bigs, me, Jordan, Bud, and Jeff, I think we combined for like 9 points.
Right.
And that was unusual.
Sometimes one of you has that, man.
Yeah. And, you know, we didn't play too well. And we're sitting on the back of the bus, all of us, and Jeff Davis, he comes up to us and like, guys, you know, in a funny manner, he was a funny guy. He kept us always upbeat. He was like, we're going to see him again. And I'm like, man, you know, me, after a loss, we took losses hard.
Right.
Like, he's like, we're going to see those guys again. I'm like, man, Jeff, we're going out west. You know, that's the only way we see him is if we see him in the big dance. And he was like, I'll never forget, he was like, I promise you, we'll see those guys again at the state college. And, you know, and that's what happened. So
that was a special night for me as a fan, too, because I got a chance to watch the Rollers win their state championship. And then after that was the Central Dauphin girls versus Mount Lebanon, and Central Dauphin won that night too. So I had a nice ride home. Jeremiah, we figured it out a couple of weeks ago. You rushed for 5.5 miles in high school, and that's just yards from scrimmage, right? I think it's probably 3 or 4 times that much if you take all the times you cut and ran for the sidelines. But 5.5 miles, 9,027 rushing yards in his career, which when he finished off, he was 9th in the history of the country. And that's any player at any level. And how'd that feel? I guess you don't get the ball going for records, right?
Right, yeah. I was just trying to do what it took to win. I really didn't care about statistics, Well, only this championship statistics, but other than that, yards didn't really matter to me. But you know, I took the the leadership role and like I guess kind of putting the team on my back in certain circumstances and situations. And you know, I appreciated my team for trusting me to handle the load and to bring it home. You know, when I did.
Great vision. You had great vision.
That's the next thing I was going to say. The funny thing about that is, growing up, well, even now, I'm blind. I wear corrective lenses. I can't see. Right here, I can't see. Back there, I can't see. So growing up, I used to just run into everybody because I couldn't see. So then my 8th grade year, I finally got some contacts, and that's when the vision happened. It just, I don't know. It was like... I guess, driving in the car and then a thunderstorm and then you put the wipers on and it just cleared up. And then once it cleared up, I just started finding holes everywhere.
That's incredible.
So I couldn't see.
That is incredible.
So if I had better eyes earlier, it might not be that big of a deal because everybody would have been seeing it.
Right.
So.
Well, we wouldn't have known that because as a fan, I just thought this guy knows how to find a hole, whether it was that big or that big. And you went through it, and so you weren't the biggest, you weren't the fastest, you weren't the strongest, you weren't the quickest.
And I couldn't see.
But I think you might have beat Emmett Smith and Emmett Smith's high school yardage. I don't think Emmett had the all-time record, but I'm pretty sure you passed Emmett. So
I believe so. I don't know.
There you go. That's not too bad, is it?
Right.
Okay, let's move on to college. Lloyd, you went to St. Francis of PA.
Yep.
Jeremiah Bucknell.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
How was that experience for you guys, Lloyd?
It was different, real different. I mean, coming from a program where, it is expected of you to win. My first year up there, I think the year before, they didn't win any games. They were 0-11, Division I. And, the atmosphere was different. At the times I thought, I seriously used to call Coach Diamond, like, Coach, I got treated better at Stilton than I did at St. Francis. But, when we got things rolling, my class that came in, we all stuck together. We similar to Stilton on a college level, we told ourselves that we were going to be the guys to change the program. And, we stuck it out, had our rough times, and towards the end, we played into conference championships. And,
That's incredible. That's awesome.
And now, to where it's at now, I was just up there a couple weeks ago, they're having ranked teams come into St. Francis, where it was, when I was there, we were always flying to NDSU or going to other teams and playing road games, and now just the culture has changed, and that goes out to a testament to the class I came in with, and I wouldn't change it for the world, though, because it did teach me how to, stick it out and grind it out, because it was really a grind.
You became part of something.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
They'll never take that away from you. How about you, Jeremiah? You went to probably just a tier under an Ivy League school.
Right.
I mean, it's a superb academic school, and you told me a couple weeks ago that it wasn't all that easy in the classroom.
Yeah, it definitely was not. I knew what I was getting myself into before I, applied to go to Bucknell. But being from Stilton, we always accept all challenges. Mm-hmm. But yeah, in the beginning, Bucknell was extremely different than Still High. Not to say anything bad about Still High, but the academics in Bucknell were, I'd say, a level 12 on a 10 scale. It was that serious. But I accepted the challenge. I adjusted, and I was doing fairly poor at first, but I ended up picking everything up. It took a summer course to do it, but a humbling experience.
Right.
Everything happened for a reason. Back in high school, kind of didn't have that many humbling experience. Everything kind of just came easy to me. So when I got to the next level, it was definitely a challenge in the classroom.
You can hit a wall, no matter how good you are, how talented you are.
Just gotta
Sometimes
keep
there's a wall in front of you. You have to figure out a way to get through it, basically. How about relatives in sports? I know that both of you have some significant brothers and uncles, and we'll start with you, Jeremiah.
All right, yeah, I got a pretty decent sized family. I got 2 little nephews coming up, Santana and Sire Young. I believe they currently play for Central Dauphin, actually. So Central Dauphin's about to get some great athletes. My little brother Malachi Young plays for Rollers right now. He's the quarterback. And then I actually got a little sister at Harrisburg Christian. She plays soccer and basketball. Her name's Jalen Pettis. Look out for her. So she should be pretty good, coming up.
I do actually have a cousin that's in the Central Dolphin system. Yeah, I think he's in 7th or 8th grade. Donovan Hill. He's a Hill, so he'll be coming through the ranks of Central Dolphin here soon. He's a big man. He's going to be huge. And of course, I have my younger brother. He played point guard at Bucknell. He was a sophomore on the team that we won the state championship. He was a starting point guard. And of course, my cousin Jordan. He's currently with the Detroit Lions, and I have a host of family that's in sports. And of course,
How about this one here?
yes, of course, the famous one.
Lloyd just found out recently that I coached his niece, Tamia, a few years back in Little League Baseball. And I told him she was my favorite player on the team. And it was a rough year. We didn't win a game. We got close to winning one, but she was something else. She was just a great girl. And I became friends with your sister through that. And,
She's actually a rival right now. She's a Middletown Blue Raider.
Oh, boy.
She's giving me all types of, talking about she can't wait to come on the hill and play us. So that'll be a special game for us.
Good. So I guess we'll wrap it up the way I always do and ask you, where are you heading from here? I know that you're coaching.
Yep.
You and Jordan are both coaching.
I'm up to 2.
And you're about to start coaching too? How can they not be good with all you guys coach?
Yeah.
I guess you can't go out in the field for them. But I mean, no, it's important. That instills a winning attitude. You can say, we've been here, we've done it, and, follow our path. But outside of sports, what do you have planned?
Right now, I'm teaching at Harrisburg High, and I absolutely love it. And giving back to the kids,
That's awesome.
I get up every day and I enjoy what I do.
That's great.
Teaching is a great way to give back to the kids through whatever they need it, and I love being where I'm at, right in the fire, and it's very rewarding.
So you're surrounded by children.
Yes.
From when you get up in the morning till the sun starts going down and practice is over. And I envy that. That's a great way to be able to spend your adult life, to just be submerged in helping kids and stuff like that. So how about you, Jeremiah?
Yeah, I think I want to, take that same path. I think my, personality is presentable to, be, out there speaking and, talking to kids and helping out kids of, all type of backgrounds and everything. So just give back with my knowledge and to just encourage people from less fortunate backgrounds to stay positive.
Right. Make sure you keep your contact lenses in. That's a great story. All right, fellas, thank you so much. That was a blast.
Thank you.
I had a great time.
Thank you.
Nice to get the rollers in here, christen the rollers. And so good luck in all your endeavors. I'm sure I'll see you down at the barber shop, Steelton Hair. Andy Hartwick, shout out.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Have a good one.